When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need: Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Hello everybody and welcome to tonight's coverage of the Family Traditions RV Rentals Fixed Truck Series, all part of Racers Elite as part of its multiple series on iRacing. Tonight, we're happy to bring you all the action from iRacing's virtual Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park here in Clermont, Indiana, as we look to see what happens here at Maconi Entertainment. Maconi Entertainment is here to bring you action from all types of racing, including this series, the Full-Length Cup Challenge, and more. No matter what you're racing, we can bring the action to life. My name's Justin Pritz. Alongside the booth tonight is Dylan Coyle. Our producer this evening is Christian Hill. As we get ready to go racing for 140 laps from IRP. So far, we've seen a very clean season when it comes to these competitors, but tonight that's going to be challenged. Short track racing at its finest, our first of the short track races in 2025 for this part of the schedule. For these drivers here, it's been a challenge so far in tracks like Texas. Talladega also bringing its own thrills and spills, but so far 2 different drivers have gone to victory lane, part of the first 3 races in this campaign. Andrew Deft still leads with the top seed for chase format, but Troy Thomas also up there as well. Those 2 already automatically advancing. Verhoeven is the first on points, mind you, coming into tonight. Now, as for the cut line, Philip Archibald currently has that advantage. That's by just 3 points over Frank Chavez. Barry Nelson is down by 8. Steve Castle is down by about 12 points entering the night. So a lot of pressure for some of the drivers to perform. Keep in mind that 18th on down in the leaderboard have missed at least 1 race so far. You can only miss a couple races before you do not meet the participation requirement to make the postseason. So as we get ready for tonight's action here, Dylan, it's going to be an interesting night here at IRP. A tough track, but very much high line dominated.
Yeah, absolutely, JP. IRP is one of those really weird short tracks where there's no necessarily one good line, right? It's not like at Martinsville, right? You know that bottom line is going to be the one that everyone's going to be vying for. It's really kind of high line, but it can change to the low line. You can have some really good duels, some really good battles that bring it sometimes up to 3 wide throughout the field. IRP, it's probably one of, if you're a racer, IRP is kind of the track you want to win at.
It's going to be interesting how these drivers fare out. 19 entries have made their way out to IRP, mind you, for tonight's festivities here on Maconi Entertainment. Drivers are in the midst of qualifying at the moment, and most of the field has qualified outside of Alex Teff, Rowan Lloyd, as well as Kinsley Smith. Everybody else has already finished up the qualifying sessions here. How critical will track position be here tonight to make sure you're in a good spot?
I mean, it's always critical, but I feel like IRP, if you're fast at IRP, no matter where you qualify, you'll be able to make some moves. Now, of course, over the course of the race, you don't want to be, in the back all of a sudden with 50 laps to go. But at the beginning of the race, points, the wins, everything is handed out at the end of the race. You're going to hope for a caution if you have a bad qualifying attempt. But regardless, it's not one of those tracks and not one of those trucks or cars, trucks if you will, that are going to really be massively hamstrung by the fact that you might have a bad qualifying attempt.
So, just about a minute to go into the session, the other two drivers we mentioned that had not yet to qualify, Lloyd and Smith, have not made their way onto the racetrack. Alex Tepp did qualify up at the top 9, but this series does provide opportunities for some drivers to make appearances, just to have some fun. We do have a few of those drivers tonight, like Riley Frost, who we have not seen this season, making an appearance tonight. Some of the top drivers in qualifying. So already, some drivers that have not appeared in previous races, making some splashes that you'll see through the running order here tonight. All of this is a part of a busy ladder series here in Racers Elite. We have the trucks, you have Xfinity cars, you have next gens that all get starts, as well as the Super Speedway series that competitors race all throughout the week, as well as many special events that look to bring some competitiveness for them. For more information on Maconi Entertainment, be sure to scan that previous QR code. For more information on the series, be sure to visit the website for Family Traditions RV Rentals at familytraditionsrvrentals.com, the official sponsor of this series. This series ready to go racing under the lights. It's going to be a twilight start, at least to begin, for these competitors. We'll see how dark it gets. Qualifying's come to a close. 19 drivers ready to duke it on out here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Here's a look at how they'll start tonight. Riley Frost starts on the pole as mentioned. Alongside him is Troy Thomas, the winner from Talladega. Truth Hoke starts in third with Brandon Zimmerman in fourth position. Fifth place goes the way of Andrew Tepp, your top seed currently in the standings, with Alex Gates alongside in the 77. Sean Dunaway starts seventh with Philip Archibald in eighth. And rounding at your top 10 starting spots will be row number 5. In row 5, it's Alex Teft and Brandon Sanfilippo rounds out your top 10, Dylan.
Rob Yost Jr. will be starting on the inside of row number 6 with Steve Sizemore in position number 12. From 83 to 08 to number 8, Curtis Ecker will be starting in 13th. Kirby Wade Scott in 14th. Steve Castle, Frank Chavez in row 8 with Barry Nelson, Kensley Smith, and Rowan Lloyd rounding out the 3 remaining trucks in this relatively small field of drivers at IRP. 140 laps are the number of laps that these drivers are going to do battle here. I do think attrition might be a factor, but remember, all of these drivers do have one fast repair in the pocket.
It's going to be a busy night here once these 140 laps. Remember, fuel limit is only 65%. So there is a required pit stop essentially with the fuel limit regardless. Potentially a couple with it. Have to see where the fuel mileage gets stacked up. Also, mind you, only 4 tire sets in the pits. Can't pit every single caution. 2 green-white checkers if necessary. What is a cool night for iRacing standards. 75 degrees Fahrenheit track temp, 71 is your air. But the field is just about set. We're happy to have you with us here on Maconi Entertainment for tonight's coverage of Racers Elite and Family Traditions RV Rentals Fixed Truck Series. Coming up to the start zone, along the front straightaway, the green flag is out. We're underway from IRP. Field sorts itself out from the back straightaway. Hope trying to clear for second from the bottom. Thomas running the preferred line up top, but gets in the line. All while Teft makes it roll as well for the bottom. So Troy Thomas not the best of starts from the outside front row.
No, but I'll tell you who definitely had a solid start. Riley Frost has already jumped 6/10 in front of the field. Helps having that clean air. It helps having that battling going on behind. And when you're a control car, it makes it a little bit more easy to get underway and get the race going. Of course, Truth Hope, though, is going to be hot on the 96's trail.
Hope trying to get into a rhythm quickly. Last time by 21.7, the best lap so far already. Andrew Teft following on by in third spot already, settling on down. And the thing that we mentioned, expecting the high line, we do have a caution. A rare caution for the series, but it's Barry Nelson who gets one at the back of the field. It's running 15th. And the 196 puts under yellow.
Yeah, really curious what happened. It may have been a single truck incident in this series, which we're not used to seeing any incidents going on between drivers in the racing battles. Single truck wrecks, yeah, that can happen. Let's see. A little bit deep on entry for the number 10. 196 machine gets a little bit better on exit, and that's what happens. Just a single truck incident, spinning the tires under throttle, and no harm, no foul. Go to the back of the line in 19th. Let's ride on board.
This can happen here very easily in IRP. Race control does confirm it's on the 196, just lost it with the throttle on corner exit. Able to save it from the wall, but obviously more than 45 degrees around is enough to trigger the caution flag here at this racetrack, and could have triggered it on the backup. So that's going to freeze the field. Wayne Scott and Lloyd did come down to top off for their runs. So drivers are already thinking about fuel mileage here. That is a truck design, to say the very least, for Lloyd. All covered in memes, but if it survives, it survives.
Yes, certainly, Rowan. This is Lloyd's first start of the season. Will not be able to participate in the chase. A few drivers are either making starts today or are set to make some starts later on that will not meet that chase requirement. This is the if you started in this race and you started a previous race, you still remain chase eligible, but you've got to make all the rest of your starts. 3 drivers kind of fit into that category. Haas Beverly, and Haas, I don't believe, is in this race. No, indeed. Brandon Zimmerman right now in 5th place. And of course, Riley Frost, the leader and pole winner in this race here tonight. If Frost is able to win, that's great. Would need to make every single remaining regular season race to remain chase eligible.
Pretty important to be able to show up to the races, absolutely, here. So we'll have to see how the 96 plays things out the rest of the season, but starting things off by controlling the field going to be critical. The rest of this running order depends on how things play out with the lead strategy. But we come up towards the restart zone. Frost, Hope, Andrew Teft, Thomas Gates, the top 5. Restart zone, Iaz Minotori on the front straight away. Green flag is out. Back on her way. And already Frost is clear for the lead. The battle is on for second.
Battle is on for sure. Another good getaway from Frost. The 98 trying to pull ahead on the inside and clear the 55 mid-corner. Believe he's done just that. He's able to clear up as well. 1 truck length in between Truth Hope and Andrew Teft. A much better start that time than at the initial drop of the green flag for Andrew Teft.
And not bad at all for the 98 machine here as Teft is able to cruise his way up 3 spots already amongst one of your biggest movers in the early going. The keyword, it's still early. A lot can happen out of those from the back of the field. But you see just how the approach has to be. How difficult is it to make sure you get that arc right, especially with those trying to run that line towards the middle of the track, right at the top.
Oh, it's so important. I mean, if you're not getting that arc correct through the corner, you're either going to try and split it into halves and almost beat a driver on entry, know you're going to lose some on exit, but hope that the delta on entry is greater overall than what you're going to lose on exit, or you're just going to try and be consistent throughout. Now, this track, it's got a few different lanes, a few different ways you can take the circuit. You can go that kind of diamond approach where you hit that middle apex, but it's almost, you separate it into two corners per set of corners, or you treat them like they're two corners is a better way to describe it, where you try and hit a mid-groove apex, you come up against that outside wall, and then you go back down to a late apex. Oh boy, that was a very scary moment in the back of this field. But yeah, there's so many different ways you can approach each set of corners here that keeps it very fresh and entertaining the battles throughout.
We're seeing some of that battling still in the back of the field. By the way, that was Barry Nelson in the scary move where he went sideways again. Alex Taft amongst those who've gone the wrong way, -5. As the Mean Machine is also trying to make some moves also. So, for the most part, pretty difficult to pass. It takes some time to get the passes done. Lloyd proving it so hard to get the runs down. Once you get side by side, it's so difficult to make sure you get that run corner exit here too on top of that equation on the corners.
Oh yeah, 1000%. So it's almost like a ballet, right? A synchronized bit of dancing, if you will, where one driver is going to pull ahead a little bit on entry, and the next driver is going to pull ahead a little bit more on exit, and whoever rolls through the center better is going to be able to make the move stick. However, it's very rarely a move that is able to be made without a mistake from the driver on the inside or outside once you're too wide. Momentum's a big thing in this track's races, but IRP is known for some very good racing side by side, and the mistakes that could happen that opens the door for more side by side racing.
Speaking of side by side, Archibald bouncing off the walls a bit. Sean Dunaway making a move. Dunaway using the flat to do so, in fact. And Dunaway trying to get back to his starting spot has Steve Sizemore just in front of him also. And for Dunaway so far, pretty solid campaign. 2 top 5s so far in 2025 for this season. Chicken Coop Racing as a unit, 4 of their 6 drivers have so far been contending for chase spots here, Dylan.
Yeah, it's been quite solid for Chicken Coop, and Sean Dunaway, of course, we're riding on back of this machine. We were just talking about Rowan Lloyd. Multiple drivers are enjoying this scheme throughout the season and this layout throughout the season. I'm with you. I don't know how I feel about the scheme. I like it, right? It all comes together. It's just, I wouldn't call myself the biggest Hello Kitty fan. JP, you?
I can't even remember what Hello Kitty is from.
Actually, I don't even either.
I know. I thought it used to be a cartoon.
It might be. It very well might be. But I'll tell you this. The 01 is really showing out for Hello Kitty here tonight. Trying to make a move up a spot into 7th. But this is that side-by-side racing we've been talking about. The 01 and the 08 machine are really putting on a show. See that pull-ahead entry rolls through the center a little bit smoother. Is already free and able to make the move on exit. The Hello Kitty 01 machine up to P7.
Able to slip his way up past Steve Sizemore. as this pack is now coiled up. About 7 seconds back of the race leader already over the course of about less than 20 laps in this run. Phil Archibald also wants those back here. We've seen some of the scrapes from him to the wall. Needing to gain points right now is in a position to gain points on everybody he needs to, though. That's the huge bright side, as long as he keeps it clean and keeps it up towards where he's at. It's where he needs to be. Oh, some contact. Curtis Ecker hit him. Sanfilippo trying to gain some ground.
It's short track racing. And all the things that come from short track racing. Contact's expected, just don't go overboard.
By the way, I did the research on Hello Kitty. The character came first in the 1970s. The cartoon came in the 80s.
Okay.
So the character was designed in the 1970s, a part of product lines back then, originally appearing on a coin purse back in 1975, then in 1976 in the States when a gift shop opened up from the founder. So it was the design of the character that came first to answer that question. But
It literally the opposite of what is expected, I guess, nowadays with big IPs and everything like that. It's usually the show and then all the characters and then all the toy lines that come from that.
or the show's there to sell the toys in the first place.
Bet you guys didn't think we'd be talking about Hello Kitty this much on the broadcast, huh?
Look at this though, Curtis Ecker still trying to find a way around the 99. So right been hitting to the left rear in this race. Ecker trying to give a little bit of space in the corners, not forcing the issue too much now. Just cannot seem to get the rotation down to be able to actually make the pass complete.
Yeah, not at all, and that's really what it is, right? That rotation, that center roll, not able to get it. Oh, up into the wall, got a little bit more throttle than he should have had. The 99 on exit. Archibald, though, he's doing a solid job. He's just got to keep that left front fender right at the right rear quarter panel. Did exactly that. Was unable to clear that 8 machine, wasn't able to, that is, and that means they go again for another battle around the merry-go-round, and once again into the outside wall. That's a beating to the right side for the 99.
Gonna try to scrape the paint off the truck. Hasn't done so successfully. It's very close. Oh, more close squeezing. Ecker able to force his way up alongside still. No dice. Contact to the wall though, as Ecker didn't want to move as much of the corner exit. The give and take is starting to go away a little bit in this fight.
Once you, another little bash up against the wall right there, once you just continuously hit the wall, you start to, there's something, I don't know, psychologically that you're like, all right, I'm pushing so hard, another little shunt to the wall right there, and I'm still unable to get the move done. Even, you almost lose concentration a little bit more than you'd like to, and right there the 8 gets the job done on the 99. Let's see how the 99 is able to fight back here. Way too heavy on corner entry. Roll through center pretty well, and on exit, some pretty good speed. Goes down to the bottom. This is a bit of a switcheroony, if you will, on where the battle had been for the last 10 or so laps.
Trying to go back at the spot. Here's send. Here's the flat. The tough thing is getting that truck to plant. Still no job complete, as Alex Deft is also alongside Sanfilippo here. All this is, mind you, around 9th on back. The lead, by the way, is within 2/10 still. Brownie Frost and Andrew Deft have ran away from the rest of the field by more than a second. They've stayed single file up front. Archibald nearly wrecked it there as we look at the leaders.
I love this track. Such good racing that we're seeing on lap 36 of 140. Yeah, that's something to keep in mind. The leaders will have a lot of traffic to deal with if we have some extended green flag action. And I think we're going to start to see that in very few laps here, especially at the back of the pack. The 96 currently is only in front, by the way, of Andrew Teft by 2 or so tenths. So we do have a bit of a battle for the lead brewing in the midst of this battling inside the top 10. However, the 96 is about to catch up to the 83 and then a whole host of drivers right near this battle.
Yeah. Traffic's going to become a factor pretty soon. Hearing that Sean Dunaway is also being let go on the racetrack, so some drivers have give and take. Some are getting the elbows out there, the give and take. Thomas said go up by when Dunaway was on the same straightaway, and now Sean Dunaway is in the top 5. Already coming up to 101 laps to go. And Thomas seems to be already knowing where his pace stands. His average pace compared to some of the others right now is well off. Right now, in fact, he's 3/10 off the lead pace.
Yeah, that's not exactly what you want to see if, you know, on as short of a track as this is at IRP, that 3/10 over the course of around 6 or 7/10 of a mile track. It's a lot. So Teft, right in this battle for the lead, went in a little bit lower, cuts up a little bit higher earlier than the 96, isn't going to have the run down the backstretch, and again, enters in lower, will wash up a little bit, will not roll center as well, but on exit, it might be a tad better, has to deal with the bumps, and they're pretty equal at all points throughout this track. You have to wonder, though, if Teft does get by, oh, this is a good exit right here for Teft, but got held up. If Teft does get by Frost, does Teft start to pull a little bit of a gap on Frost?
Yeah, that's the huge thing, and the tough part about all this is he might be in the same ballpark, but he can't really test out the true pace of the truck until he actually gets the pass done. Once he gets the clean air, looks to the outside. Andrew Teft tried to poke it up there, now gets the diamond line set up. Will this open up the door for him to get a run for the lead? No, but Frost is still fighting to defend. Now there's a small poke to the inside. Now Frost is pushing up the track. Andrew Teft going for the race lead. Is out the numbers at the door.
Oh yeah, he's right there. He's right there, and they're just on each other's doors right here. Nothing separating them. Teft led that last lap, cannot clear mid-corner, but clears on exit. The 96 might have a good run right here. Goes down to the bottom, pulls in a tiny bit down the backstretch, but that is battle won for Andrew Teft, new race leader. Lap 45, he led it. He's going to lead another lap here.
First 43 were led by Riley Frost. Andrew Teft looking to control things to try and get a third win on the season. Just has to be able to settle on in is the critical thing, especially with the factor of pit stops pretty soon. That will impact the fuel mileage here. Remember, only 65% fuel limit. At 100%, you can go maybe 90, 100, 110-ish laps, give or take. Obviously much more shorter with this run. They'll have to pit pretty soon here.
That's a great battle, and you see Truth Hoke is just lurking a little bit. Last lap time was around a tenth and a half quicker than both of these two drivers if you average out their time. So he's right in this battle as well. Sean Dunaway in that 01 machine. Remember, we had been watching that Hello Kitty machine run through the field a little bit earlier in the race. Currently at the fourth, but 5 seconds back of the leaders. Very soon, though, these drivers are going to see some more traffic. The 13 will go a lap down shortly in Frank Chavez, but not battling on track. That's a little bit more up the field. The 10 is in a battle right now with the 196 machine.
Yeah, traffic is going to start playing a huge factor here pretty soon as well. It's starting to get dark around here. Lights haven't turned on yet, but it's getting close. Caution, possibly here. Steve Sizemore crashes. We do get it. Sam Filippo's the wrong way around on the circuit. The 12 machine able to turn around, but an incident for our second caution of the night freezes the field and should bring everyone to pit road.
Yeah, that is caution number 2. We'll have to get a replay of what exactly happened here. Just a bit past the 1/3 point. They can pit, and I'll tell you what, they can make it. They can probably make it to the end of the race at 100% fuel. Let's take a look at the replay here. 4 trucks underneath the blanket. The 12 gets a little bit too hot on corner exit. The 08 might have been sliding down just a bit. The 15 helps. The 8 gives a little bit more of a shove. That's a 4-truck incident right there.
And a lot of damage to San Filippo and having to take a wave run, possibly. He ended up losing a lap as a result of how long it took him to get gathered up. There it is on the push-up. Pushes Sizemore around. As he checks up to let Sizemore spin it out, he gets spun out by a teammate. Around they go to freeze the field. And now, he'll get cause of caution on top of it. By the way, race out pit road for a lot of these drivers. Simple service to be able to take tires and fuel. Andrew Teft did get first up pit road. Sean Dunaway did have to come around, interesting enough, till the second time around. So that's going to put Dunaway to the back of the field after having top 5 positioning on the racetrack before they elected to stay out the first time around for various reasons. So, your thoughts on the race so far as the field gets reset here?
It's been a really good race. You know, it's kind of what I expected to see, especially in the midfield battles. You have these trucks going at it for a number of laps. There's really no relenting, I guess you could say, between most of the field here tonight. It's constant lap after lap battling, and just by the virtue of how this track is, it's kind of going about as well as you could possibly hope for, between how difficult it can be to make a pass stick, but not because of the trucks around you, but just in terms of, you know, dirty air or anything, but just by virtue of the competitors you're racing around. That's what I've loved about this track. That's what I love what we're seeing here tonight.
Field getting all resorted out here for the restart. Andrew Teft leads, Raleigh Frost second, Hoke Gates the top 4, Alex Teft now in 5th position. Brandon Zimmerman's been quietly running well in 6th. Archibald Acker, Lloyd, and Kinsley Smith, your top 10. Green flag is out. Back to racing at IRP. And the 98 is clear as they battle it out now for about 5th.
Little bit of argy-bargy going on in the back of the pack as the sunset continues to show its hand. Oh, almost some contact there from the 2 leaders. Getting a little bit too tight on corner exit was Andrew Teft, and that opened the door up for Riley Frost to potentially make a move, but a little bit tail happy there. Truth Hoke is in the mix again as well. Remember, he was running in 3rd, just kind of stalking the 2 leaders. Now he's right up there by courtesy of the restart.
Yeah, some of these drivers having a wild time to start, but Hope has been good on fire off. Raleigh Frost, a bit of a bubble though. And the Misfits Racing Machine moves up to 2nd. The 55 able to clear up by the 96 with a bubble, and things have come undone for Riley Frost in terms of his consistency. Now, how do you try and get yourself settled back in after these tires seem to just not be grumping up now for Riley.
Well, you just gotta go through the ringer. You just go through it. There's no real way except get your head down, keep moving forward. There's no special, special method. It is just you're in the middle of a race. Now you've got to deal with the fact that you're now in third, the worst spot you've been in all race, which is already pretty good. Just run your race. I mean, there's no other way to do it. Capitalize on the opportunities you see. Right there, you saw Hope trying to make a move, or at least taking a little peek down at Andrew Taft. This is exactly the line. This is exactly what you're gonna have to do, right? There's nothing else to it. I'm rambling on, but it is quite simple. Just run your race. Figure it out.
Yeah, at this point, needs to settle on down and settle in. We're already quickly approaching halfway in this race. Barry Nelson's falling down the order again. Barry Nelson has crashed the truck again. The 196 has gone around for no caution flag. We stay green, but the TV panel is gone. That truck will have to come down to pit road.
Bad showing for Wonder Bread here.
Yeah, Ricky Bobby's not had a wonderful night. That race truck. And Nelson, 3 different times having bobbles down the front straightaway tonight. The third one gets him. Top 3 try and settle on in. Gates and Zimmerman round out the top 5 for the time being. No one really moving from that middle to top as you would expect here so far. But Hoke is trying to find their way to the race lead for the first time. Truth not been able to close up that extra trunk length though, running a little bit quicker than the leader.
Right there, you saw a little bit lower on exit for the 55. Washed up, got tight down that back straightaway. Tries to do it again here. These corners are so long. You feel like you're only turning left for only a 2.5 second momentary pause down these straightaways. I mean, if you just counted the amount of seconds that these drivers are able to rest their hands a little bit, rest their arms a little bit, it's quite minimal. So everything they make up, everything that they lose, it's in the corners here.
Yeah, just that balancing act on corner speed and driver preference when it comes to setup. Of course, Cody's Setup Shop, remember, is the one who provides setup opportunities for these drivers to run what they run here. Cody's Setup Shop, an official sponsor of this series as well. Official Setup Shop, previously in NASCAR. Still, though, we have a crash. Barry Nelson came back on the racetrack, immediately binned it. No caution, we stay green.
Well, at this point, it might not be the worst idea to just stay in the pits. What is that, 3 wrecks that Barry Nelson has been a part of tonight? Not all caution-inducing and not really taking out anybody else, just himself.
Now, still looking at the race leaders for now, but we're coming up to halfway. Let's take a look at what's going on behind him. Archibald's been one of the drivers very active in battles at times tonight. Right now, the average pace back here, 3/10 off the leader. But Archibald doing well to keep up with Zimmerman as Dunaway tries to find a way around again.
Yeah, this was the quite exciting battle that we had seen throughout most of the race here. And by the way, Barry Nelson back running, so hopefully it'll be a much better race the rest of the way for Nelson. Still could put himself into a free pass position, and that would be a great way to have this race go if the caution does come out. Halfway through it, though, this lap in the 99, currently in 7th. The 01 of Sean Dunaway, remember, was up to 4th place, back down in 8th. So not really a great stretch from the pit stop cycle to this restart, but goes down the 99 on the inside here. Going to be side by side on corner exit. Lose some steam due to being on the inside. Maybe a clear coming down the front straight.
Will we clear down said front stretch? Not yet. A little bit of a lift up as he had to make sure not to clear into the 99 and wreck the two of them. This time he gets down the back straightaway though. Dunaway's just got better rotation right now and better tires. That's what you can really say with what's been going on with this 01 machine. He's obviously got top 5 pace. Just has to find a way to get those extra couple spots here. Already past halfway in the race. 67 to go when they come across the stripe this upcoming time by. Top 2 have checked out by more than a second again. Things have settled out single file. Not as racy as it was earlier, Dylan.
No, not at all. Not as racy, but it took a little bit for the raciness to get really going in that first long green flag run that we've got. I think we'll start to see it show up again in due time here. These drivers, they will be able to make it the rest of the way. And actually, they probably won't. Let me rephrase that. So it is, if it was 100% fuel, yeah, there's no question about it. 65% fuel and around a 80 lap run to the green. That's probably pushing it just a bit. I'm curious to hear where these drivers are when it comes to their fuel numbers.
Yeah, especially with 65% fuel. That's a great question mark right now. They have to pit in theory. They have to pit it. Based on the math, in my head at least. It's just a matter of how long they go. The last caution gave them a great opportunity to pit for that fuel.
Yeah, trying to think about the numbers and everything. Let me do some crunching of the numbers just to see how many laps they would be down when it comes to fuel. Because if you take it to around, these drivers make it around 85 miles, 90 miles on a full tank of fuel. I mean, you go 65%. JP, give me 20 seconds. Let me get this for you.
Okay. Doing the calculator thing, I'm guessing.
Absolutely.
Oh, look, the lights have turned on, though, by the way. You see that distinct look. It's a touch bit different with the lightning package here on iRacing before things get pitch black toward the end of this one. So visibility is going to improve a little bit here in the next little bit. By the way, that is lap traffic just being cordial. San Filippo, once those multiple laps down, had just come down pit road, so the window for some is open to take their pit stop service. Keep in mind, San Filippo also had previously taken the wave around, so he had a lengthy time in his truck on the racetrack. How many laps was that?
It's going to be... I'm sorry to cut you off, JP. It's going to be close. It's going to be really close because if they are currently on lap 29 since coming down for fuel while under caution, and they also have right now just under 60 laps to go, you do the math, and to me what the math is saying to me is that 87 laps around this track from when they last pitted is around 59 and a half miles. You know what 65% of a full tank is if we're saying 90 miles, give or take? That's around 58 miles. So you put in the caution period, there might be some drivers that try and stretch it.
Gonna make things interesting here. You can lose a couple laps when you pit around this track, just with the nature of IRP as well. So there's gonna be potentially the fuel dance for some. We'll have to see. Haven't heard any clutch and cold stream anything from the drivers yet in this field. Now, as things have settled down here. Oh, trouble! San Filippo in the wall. Trying to go to the inside of Lloyd, hit the back end, and we're under yellow.
I did all that math. All right, if we went under green flag conditions. Now you throw a caution into the mix, yeah, they should be good. But they'll probably pit here for fewer tires than really needed.
This should get the drivers to the end comfortably on the gas tank, absolutely. We are seeing pit stops as we'll take a look at the replay. In progress, hits the car. He hit the truck in front of him, quite simply.
Yeah, that's a mistake right there from that 12 machine, and probably going to be an EOL. I wonder how much damage, if any, to that right front for San Filippo and the rear. Multiple times, hit the rear, hit, of course, one smaller time to initiate that problem. Visually, a little bit of damage for sure, but I don't know how much mechanically.
And because it's the second cause of caution for the 12, that's a black flag drive-through under green for San Filippo.
That's rough. It's not even that it's rough because it's a short track, but the way that this pit road entry is, you enter in right around turn 3. So that's where it makes it a little bit more difficult. It does feel like a longer pit road than it actually is. And by the way, what did our viewers also think about that caution graphic? Because I'm a fan. That was cool.
Well, I thought it was pretty interesting. Felt like something from Matt.
Interesting. Yeah, but interesting is just a kind way of saying that it wasn't my cup of tea.
I didn't say that.
I don't know. That's what I heard.
I mean, we're under caution. Truth Hulk had to come back down pit road, by the way. We've had an issue involving his pit stop sequence. So the 55 will no longer be up front, but you know who is up front? It's Alex. Both the Tefs will be on the front row here.
Well. I wonder how much brotherly love we're going to see from these two. I wonder how many haymakers are going to be thrown between these two. You always want to beat your brother a little bit more, I feel like. And I don't have a brother, so that's just assuming.
All right, so 52 to go. Green flag is out. We're backing away. And up front, the Tefs look to control things, but look who's also up front too. Sean Dunaway, who's at good pace tonight, the 01, looking for third.
Yes, sir. That's exactly what we're seeing. The 01 machine up into fourth right now. Dunaway was up there in that first green flag run. Here's a really solid chance to see what he's got against drivers currently that we haven't seen, except for Andrew Teft in that front 3 running positions. Look at this. Alex Gates looks on the outside of Alex Teft in that 43 machine. Teft defensive on that middle groove. A bit of a run there for Alex Gates, and they go around turns 1 and 2 again.
Poked to the outside by Gates as they zip around lap traffic that has been San Filippo going around and letting the field go. Now the poke by the 77. Couldn't get the run to the outside. Reset again. Gates seems very committed to try and get that third line to work all the way out to the wall.
If you find the speed there, you got to take advantage of it. So if that's where Gates feels like he's got the speed, or at least sees an opening, and maybe not right there because that opening just led him into the outside wall.
Bounced off of it. Still able to hold on to it for now, though, as Dunaway looks to set him on up now. Both the Tefs, though, keeping control of this field. And the brothers doing what they need to do to have a good performance here. This is the highest Alex has been up all night. Alex had been barred at the end of the top 10 much of the night.
Yeah, no, Alex, this is the first kind of venture in here. Oh, are we going to have a spin in the back of the pack? You saw one of the pink trucks. Yeah, there we go. Rowan Lloyd got a little bit squirrely. Kirby Wainscott as well. I wonder if there was contact between those two.
Yeah, Wainscott in the wall. Bounced off of the fence. And the 10 drops on behind Yost Jr. Wainscott not having a good moment there. Now has to reset his machine.
Look at that, the 01 trying to make a move down the inside of Alex Gates. And again, we talked about it. That 01 machine has been flying. Gates trying to make that outside work, but a few laps ago, hit the outside wall. Oh, almost was able to clear him right there. That's going to lose some time for the 01 just for another go around here.
Just couldn't clear him by quite yet. Now has a chance to clear next corner. Dunaway way low down the straightaway, didn't track up. That cost him the chance to fully clear. And now Gates keeping the fight up. 43 laps to go. Dunaway trying to clear by going a little bit deeper into the corner. And that's the thing. You can make that work sometimes, but not all the time. The truck doesn't seem to have that grip right now to be able to rotate enough to clear unless you force it. This time Dunaway forced it.
And remember what we were saying, up until around 50 laps to go, track position wasn't the worst thing in the world. You expect some cautions from a short track race. Now it's go time. There's 42 coming to 41 laps to go. Sean Dunaway feels like he's got a shot to win this race, and the two Teft brothers are just in front. Had to make sure he got by that 77 machine in very quick fashion, and that's what he did.
Now next in sights are the Tefts. See which brothers is able to find their way forward. 40 laps to go. Oh, a little loose moment for Dunaway. That might cost him some ground. It will. But a good save. Dunaway starting to over-push the truck to get there.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where if there's not another caution, the opportunities are becoming few and far between if you make a mistake to get back going up through the field. You know, we were talking about Riley Frost, right? And Riley right now is in P9. So Frost has a lot of trucks just in front and could potentially get the moves done immediately. It's just we saw the pace that he was running, sliding the tires through turn 4. We saw the pace that he was running, and it was very similar to Andrew Teft. If it stays green the rest of the way, I don't see a world where Frost is able to win it. It would be very impressive if I'm proven wrong, though.
Yeah, right now the Tefts seem to be very comfortable in front. Riley Frost, good crossover to get alongside Ecker at the very least, though. And Ecker is over pushing. He's leaning on the rears. Bit of a drift around, but able to hold on to it as the 96 takes their time to make this pass. And that's the thing about this track, too. It can take up to 5-10 laps to really get the pass done, which makes it all the more difficult to make said moves right now. And Frost seems to be having to take their time because Eckert's not letting them track out.
Yeah, not at all. Frost has got to make these moves quickly to make it up through the field. But these drivers aren't slouches, right? We've seen that the 8 machine has done battle with other drivers all throughout the race here tonight. This is the first time we've really seen, besides the battle for P1, Riley Frost in a traffic battle situation, right? Where he's got to deal with both attack and defense happening all in one, and potential 3 wide scenarios. So this is a new test for Frost, and it's not going exactly as another slide out of turn 4 as he would have wanted.
They've been holding each other up a little bit because now Archibald is driven up by half a second away from this fight. Frost needs to find a way to clear. Now he's overdriving the truck loose, and that gives advantage Ecker. The 8 almost cleared by because of that one wiggle. This is queuing up Smith, Lloyd, and Yost Jr. a little bit behind them here as Frost not able to win the battle. And now it's stuck behind the 8, it looks like, with the way the straightaways are coming out.
Yeah, that's just more sliding and overdriving it from Frost. An unfortunate way that this race is shaping up for him. It was a great start. Pole position, led the majority of the opening stages of this race, but Andrew Teft has made fewer mistakes, and that's really been the main goal of it tonight.
Up front, Dunaway has reeled in the 43. This is for second. Andrew's pulled away by a sizable gap, but Alex, he's been running consistent lap times. Dunaway in the same ballpark. And what does Dunaway do to make this pass now? What would you be doing to try and make this move with under 30 laps to go? Likely going to be the highest you get here with the way Andrew's pulling away.
I mean, regardless of how you do it, you've got to make it happen pretty much instantly. And Dunaway taking a peek, half a truck, goodness, I've seen this happen so many times, and it's always frustrating. Half a truck width off the wall, all the way far back, and you just enter in lower. Yes, you're catching up on corner entry, but you're sacrificing all that time and all that speed on corner exit, and that entrance is a little bit lower, which means you're diving it in more, you're making the tires work an extra little bit harder, you're wearing them down a bit more. Just some patience, I would say, is a bit needed on corner entry for Sean Dunaway here.
See that little gap building up here. Last time by a 10th loss for Dunaway. Dunaway on the line, just going a lot deeper, trying to send it into the corners, make it stick on the apex. And that's not working right now compared to what Teft's doing, keeping it higher line and keeping it a little bit more consistent on his runs right now. And that's the big thing about the tire wear here. If you burn up that right front tire in particular, you're going to be on the struggle bus. And right now it seems Dunaway is cooking that right front a fair bit, even with that line, in terms of how hard he's sending it.
Yeah, 100%. And I get it, right? You see that the laps are winding down a little bit too quickly right here for your liking, but nonetheless, you gotta calm down a little bit. Right now, it looks like P2 is still within the grasp, but every time corner entry, you're asking the truck to do a little bit more on corner exit. You're not gaining anything. It looks good, and it's another thing that frustrates me when here's a pet peeve of mine. It's when broadcasters talk about, look how much she's gaining on corner entry. Well, yeah, because he drove it in deeper, he's going to lose it all on corner exit. That's just how racing works, and you got to use all the available track that you've got. Dunaway has entered in a little bit lower, has driven it in deeper. Look at that, way lower, and I know there's traffic right there, but if your plan is to come up anyway, you're still hurting your line, and it's just not doing him any favors, as Teft does have a little bit of a wiggle on corner exit.
Yeah, still not enough to be able to really help Dunaway's case here, to be able to move up an extra step on the podium. Frost has pit after only 33 laps, though. So the 96 is in. This looks scheduled. They were running 10th. Let's see what they
I don't get this.
They're taking service with 20 to go.
Yeah, this has got to be. Were their tires even put on right there?
They took 2.
Okay, so Yeah, so 2 tires on the right sides, going a lap down here. I mean, Frost's whole hope at this point is getting back in the lead lap and a caution comes out. That is genuinely the only hope that Frost has right now. I think he is on the lead lap, yes indeed. So just in front of the leaders, I believe. Is that the case, or am I going crazy?
One lap
here?
down.
One lap down for sure.
16th.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's a good. Thank you. Just trying to see exactly what we've got here. Taking a look at the track map right now as well. Obviously, the 98 is flying ahead of everybody, but where the 96 is, around 2/3 of a track length back from getting back on the lead lap. Well, we'll take a look at the track times, or the lap times, I should say, for Frost. But I mean, I don't get that move.
An interesting thing, but
Hope and a prayer. If you can catch up within 9 seconds to Frank Chavez and get yourself in the free pass position, that helps as well.
it would absolutely. It is difficult to be able to get there with how much distance there is, though. So we'll have to see. All this is while Troy Thomas trying to keep up a good run so far this season. Thomas, 2 top 5s, looking for a 3rd one, looking to get 1 more spot higher.
Yeah, Troy Thomas is. We haven't really talked about him that much in this race, even though we've seen that 3 neon machine on our screens a good bit tonight. And it is because Thomas did fall down a little bit from the start of the race and was just in front of the main battling that we had seen behind him. Well, now it's his turn to get back into a top 4 position as he's chased down Alex Gates. Now, look at this. Alex Gates, I should say. Gates is right there for the taking for Troy Thomas, and that wiggle is going to open the door a little bit more.
Just trying to pressurize no mistake late in this one. Air poke to the inside. Yet again, lined back up Esther for now. So laps tick down quickly here. Now it's the matter of, will there be any slip-ups? The 77 has been pretty stable on their momentum here tonight. Thomas trying a diamond line. Will that work? No. Not quite. Andrew Temp, by the way, Andrew Temp, by the way, is leading by a sizable margin. Almost 3 seconds. The 98 just taken off for the rest of this field.
Yeah, and doing such a solid job. I mean, no mistakes from him, right? That's been the key to the race tonight, and it's looking like it's going to be a runaway victory for him as this final stint has played itself out. Now, of course, there's still time for a caution to come out, right? And there's still time for us to see some green-white checkered action. Andrew Teft is the only one that's trying to get to that white flag before everybody else.
Just 10 more circuits around the racetrack. It's the focus for the 98 to get towards, just to be able to get this race done. Do so with a sizable margin left of the time limit. Mind you, this race not even 1 hour long here tonight. Still no moves yet from the 3 machines. They try and diamond something along the line, scrape the wall. And the tough thing is there's dirty area you have to potentially think about here too, playing a bit of a factor here for Thomas, just making it that much more tough, or tight, I should say.
This is a fun battle. Been watching it for a good bit right here. All of us have been, and look at that. 3 enters in lower, but it does not ask the truck to do that much in center of the corner. I like that line, right? It's, you can enter lower, but then you can't push the truck to go way up against the wall and stay there from mid-corner to corner exit. That's really going to hurt your exit speed. right here. Got a little bit excited to mirror drive, but enters or exits a little bit lower. Yeah, that 77 is tail happy. Thomas still has a chance here to get the move done and make it into 4th place by the time this race is all said and done.
I require a bump and run at this rate. How long it takes just to be able to make a move when side by side around this racetrack. 6 to go. Lap traffic is ahead. They're sent to the outside to try and find the diamond line for Thomas. Will he take a lunge aggressively to the inside? He will, but he actually backed up the corner a fair bit. Lap traffic is joining them too. Riley Frost is trying to pass him.
No boy. Yeah, that Frost is trying to get by. That is another thing to take into account here. Frost is faster. Maybe you follow the traffic. Follow Frost through.
Yeah, that might be the opening here, but Frost isn't getting a chance alongside, and Thomas isn't making it easy. 4 to go. Still trying to find a way. Get alongside on his own, and Frost is now backing up a little bit, letting them fight. So all the battles settling on in for the home stretch here, doing.
Yeah, this has been a solid fight between these two drivers as this race is entering its final couple of laps, but just such a solid job that we've seen from Andrew Teft ever since that final restart. Kensley Smith, we got to give a shout out to the driver of the 15 machine, up 9 spots, just like Rowan Lloyd in that Hello Kitty machine. But Andrew Teft, just fast. That's what he has been here tonight. It's not unlike the 98 machine to have such a dominant run at IRP as the white flag has appeared here, JP.
Final time around here tonight, Andrew and Alex Teft 1 and 2. As Andrew Teft puts on a dominating performance. First 43 laps went the way of Riley Frost, but after that, it was all cart 98. Checker flag, Andrew Teft takes the win. He wins it at IRP. It's his 3rd victory of 2025 in this series so far. And it continues what's been a dominating stretch. 3 of the 4 races so far have gone the way of the 98.
Yeah, just really solid job right there for Andrew Teft. Alex Teft, his brother, comes behind him and makes him know that he is there. Really just, it was domination, right? A shame we didn't get to see more of a battle between Frost and Teft, but once Teft got into the lead, never looked back.
Andrew gets the chance to burn it on down and celebrate. And seems to be having a hard time trying to sort out how he wants to burn it out here.
The indecisiveness is driving me crazy. There he goes.
Able to finally find a spot to do some loop-de-loops. But Andrew Teft able to take it our win here tonight. The Family Traditions RV Rentals Fixed Truck Series. As he tries to burn it around the entire racetrack. We'll take a step aside when we come back. More coverage of Racers Elite. You're watching Maconi Entertainment from IRP.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Welcome back, everyone, for post-race coverage of Racers Elite here on Maconi Entertainment. Right in the end, it's Truck 98, Andrew Teft, who takes the victory. Alex Teft finishes second. Sean Dunaway rounds out the top three. It's going to be for those drivers soon. Alex Gates finished off in fourth with Troy Thomas the top five. Brendan Zimmerman and Phil Archibald at the top seven. Ecker, Smith, and Lloyd in the meme truck gets the top 10.
Yeah, I'm looking through the rest of the field. Truth Hogue, Kirby Wayne Scott, Rob Yost Jr. We didn't talk much about Yost Jr., but finishes back in P13. Frank Chavez, one lap down with Riley Frost and Steve Sizemore. Brandon Sanfilippo and Barry Nelson, Steve Castle. That is your 19-truck field of drivers.
That's what we talked about with the run order here tonight. In this one here on Maconi Entertainment, let's talk with your race winner, Andrew Teft. Andrew, dominating race here tonight. How would you describe it?
Yeah, just the way you did. That was a lot of fun. Just something about this place I love. Ever since I first turned laps on this track, I don't know, it just suits me somehow. Got a kind of, I don't know, unique groove right in the middle of the track. I just sort of use the seams as grip strips, and I don't know. I guess I'm just able to sort of save the right front on the long run and kind of get away.
You mentioned some of the grip strips here tonight. How tricky was it to make sure you hit those grip marks just right to make sure you kept the rotation center off?
Yeah, they're pretty small, and you've got the white lines there to confuse you. So, I mean, you've got the paved lanes and you've got the painted lanes. So, yeah, takes some decent aim. I try to transition between them that way I can, stay on them as long as I can throughout the corners. I go to a lot of New Hampshire races and watch the drivers up there switch between the PJ1 lanes, and kind of use that same idea here, but with the seams, because the second you touch them, there's just a ton of instant more grip. So you can kind of sail it off in there and just count on them to catch you if you can aim right and hit them. That's all I really do. I just kind of try to stay in that middle line and keep the wheels on the seams, and it's been working out.
Next up on the schedule, looking at some of the races here coming up, Rockingham. Your thoughts on the Rock?
Truth is usually really good there, so I might have to watch some past races or something, see what he's doing. I'm sure he'll be a threat, and a lot of guys hungry for wins here, so it's kind of hard to pass there generally, sort of like tonight. You can get alongside somebody pretty easy, but to complete the pass off the corner is pretty tough. The track's got a pretty good high groove, so really need to be able to rotate or wait for somebody to make a mistake, getting the wall a little bit up top to be able to get by.
Any shows you'd like to give here tonight?
Yeah, I want to thank Family Traditions RV Rentals. They're our primary sponsor for this series. I want to thank Maconi Setups. Setup was beautiful tonight. Not too tight, not too loose. No complaints, really. So you guys should check those out. I want to thank Maconi Entertainment for putting on the show. Everybody that tunes in to watch, shows up to race. I want to thank our servicemen and women and my team, friends, family. And if you're interested in checking us out, just head on over to racerselite.com. You can find our schedule, standings, Discord invites, the whole 9 yards right over there.
Congratulations on the run here tonight, Andrew.
Thanks, fellas.
Andrew Teft puts together a strong run tonight. Alex Teft was in second. He is with Dylan.
Yeah, Alex, really solid run at the end there. It didn't necessarily look like the race was going to fall into your hands, but made some nice moves strategy-wise and got up there by the final restart. Take us through just your thoughts on how the race shaped out. You happy? What are you thinking?
Definitely, not happy to come in second, but definitely a good race overall. Just trying to be as patient as I could throughout the whole thing. I really struggled on the short run. Took me a good 15, 20 laps to kind of get in a groove and start picking guys off. On the long run, I was really good. We never got those super, super long runs. Caution seemed to come out right as I was reeling the people in front of me. But just kept it clean and didn't mess up on pit road and was able to just keep cycling forward and forward. But that last run I just didn't have the same type of speed I did throughout the race, and didn't really have anything for Andrew there. If I maybe could have gotten in front of him right off the rip, maybe I could have held him off, but it was it was just tough.
It's I was talking about it on the broadcast, but I need to hear in your words, how much does a brotherly rival kind of come into play? You have that final restart with 50 or so to go. You guys are starting inside, outside, row one. Obviously, you aren't the victor in this particular round, but how much does that push you to try and to win when it's your brother that you're facing, at least on this restart?
So you don't want to lose to anybody, less than your own brother. And he seems to usually get the better of me in these 1-2 finishes. Usually I have to do like a 2-tire pit stop at a late race caution or something like that to, get the advantage. But it's always boosts up the intensity a little bit more when it's him.
For sure. All right, man. I'm going to give you the spotlight to shine on who you want to thank for tonight's race.
And definitely want to thank you guys in the Maconi Entertainment booth for putting on the broadcast for us. It's a good showing from the old chicken coop racing here. 1, 2, 3 podium for us. And thank my friends and the viewers that watch all the time, and my fiance.
All right, Alex Teft, congratulations on P2. Maybe next week one spot better than your biggest rival in your brother.
All right, thank you.
Of course. JP?
Those are the Tefts first and second tonight. Sean Dunaway had speed for a top 3, finished up in said top 3 here tonight. Sean, how would you describe your night in the Hello Kitty truck?
My hands hurt. And I'm sweaty, so that's about to the extent of it. Yeah, I accidentally forgot to pit that first caution. Kind of put me back a little bit. I think I started in P12, but luckily I was able to make my way back up. A couple more cautions flew. Got up to P3 there.
How difficult was it to try and make passes here tonight?
Yeah, it's definitely a fine line between hurting some feelings and just trying to get it in there for sure. Luckily, I felt like I had a lot of grip on the bottom lane, more than most people, so I was able to make that bottom lane work pretty often. Gave people plenty of space, even out of the exit of the corners. So luckily, it was definitely not the fastest lane to be down on the bottom, but as long as you just stayed patient with it, had the other person make mistakes, you can make it work for sure.
With that being said, how do you feel about the Rock next week?
Oh yeah, I like the Rock a lot better than IRP, I would say. Andrew's definitely better at the short tracks. I feel like I got a good chance at the Rock. It's been a little while since I've been there, but mile. What is it? Is it a mile or a mile and a half? Either way, it's a little better for me for sure.
Anyone who want to give a shout out to here tonight?
Yeah, for sure. Like to thank my wife, my mom and stepdad for always watching, and then my cats for always trying to ruin my race here.
Sean, yeah, just
It
under
is
a mile,
under.
by the way,
Oh,
for the rock.
darn! It feels like a mile and a half, but yeah.
Well, on that note, thank you very much for your time, Sean.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Sean Dunaway runs out the top three. Like to take the time to thank the top three for speaking with us during post-race coverage here for Racers Elite. Your thoughts on tonight, Dylan, as in the end, we see a busy night come to a close, but a dominant one for Andrew Teft.
It was a very solid race. You know, I feel like the last 30 to 40 laps was probably the lowest point in terms of absolute entertainment or excitement for the race. I wish we got to see a little bit more of battling through traffic for the leaders. We didn't see much of that tonight, just by virtue of where the cautions fell. How many green flag lap runs we did have. Regardless, though, we had a lot of good midfield battles. We had some really nice battling for the lead earlier on in the race. Had a little bit of strategy and a few mistakes that led to a few relatively small incidents tonight. Overall, I think it was a very solid race.
An interesting night overall, but remember, The Rock is going to be next. That will be next week. Coverage starts at approximately 7:40 p.m. Eastern Time. You can catch that on Maconi Entertainment. But on that note, it's time to say goodbye. I'd like to thank you for tuning in for tonight's coverage of Racers Elite. We'd also like to thank everyone for tuning in general. Now, calling the action out was myself, Justin Prince, alongside Dylan Coyle. Christian Hill was producing. Thanks to our viewers for watching tonight's racing action. Hope you stay tuned to all our social media pages for our next race. Thanks to the entire staff for their work in bringing this racing to you. This has been a production of Maconi Entertainment. We'll see you next time.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.